Um, okay, welcome to this week's review. Once again, I'm Albert. I'm going to review three games from the NAOL this season, this week. Um, is any of the players present? If so, maybe we can get started with your game. And if you have ideas of what you are.
I'm from the first game here. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but
Oh,
William
okay,
isn't here.
So this is your game, right?
No, it isn't my game.
You're black.
Yeah, I'm the first game here. I'm Brett. Yeah.
You're Brett. Okay. All right. Is there a part of the game where you want me to focus on?
Yeah, mostly I just let him get a big center. Trying to figure out at what point I should have done something else, right? So that's basically it. A lot of small mistakes, but right around here is where I really fall apart and I drop off about 20 points. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this move especially. What's your reasoning behind this connection?
I actually thought about this quite a lot. I read this one carefully, and I was just worried about getting cut. I guess I don't really see a cut right now. Yeah,
So
I guess
this
it was
one,
just
right?
unnecessary. I'd convinced myself that it was something to be afraid of, though.
Yeah, so there is technically a cut, but something to consider is what happens after your cut. So in this case, white can't really run out much. But I think more importantly, if we zoom out a bit, let's say even if white's cut works, let's say white captures one stone, is that really the end of the world?
Yeah, I guess I would just feel a bit of envy looking at the top side. It looks pretty big, and I don't see a good way for me to reduce it, right? So I think I was in my mind trying to set up some strength to maybe try to bully these two stones, but yeah, didn't really come to anything, right?
So your goal is to put pressure on these, right?
Just do anything I can to try to push into the top.
Right, so
I
then you
just
might
wanted
as
to
well
reduce
do
it.
the push.
Hmm.
And actually, this also fixes a cut indirectly.
Yeah, that is kind of nice. I guess the other thing I was wondering about in the game, what should be the timing? Me, um, kind of jumping out on the second line with my top left group. Like in short order coming up here, I try to bust into the top as well as the left hand side by just doing one space jumps off of my second line stone.
Like here, right?
Yeah. So it's actually I do it in not too long. Is it a decent timing, or should I leave that stuff until well into like the end of the middle game and the end
Oh
game?
yeah, that's a big move. So let's say something like this happens. Yeah, you should definitely jump. It's a 20-point move easily.
Okay, and then also that lets me not worry too much about giving him that massive wall with the pushing battle, huh?
Right, so the idea is you want to do something on the top first and then do the bottom. When you reduce a moyo, right, you can see white has some framework here. The general approach is to do something on the outside first. So you want to play something on the outside, and then if you have anything on the inside, you play that. And the idea is if you jump now, white fixes, white wouldn't answer a lot of these moves anymore because you're already white's already stronger.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
But conceptually, the other thing is, look at the whole board. Yes, white has a very really nice territory on the top, but where else is weak? If we look at the weakness, it's actually in the bottom. So to make it more clear, let's say you make some exchanges, give white some territory, and then you can launch an attack here. I would say the 5 white stones are kind of in trouble here. No clear eye shape. You're pretty strong, and in the center exchanges, you kind of seal off white's path home.
Do you feel that my two black groups on the bottom are okay? Because I felt quite stupid after I ended up with them. They felt like I had two weak groups and every move in the center would attack them both, right? So is this actually okay? Is this strong enough for me to start to attack that white group then?
Yeah, that's a great thought. And the thing is, if you think you're weak, then playing more moves can only make it stronger. Typically. So if you think you're weak or you worry about it, then that's even more of a reason to play here. And actually, your group is not that weak compared to white. And the reason being, both sides have easy eye shape. For example, here you can slide into the corner. And of course, with this group, you have some moves around here. It's pretty easy to make a base. And then actually, white is the side that will struggle finding two eyes.
Oh, I see. I see. Could you rewind back to where I played that first pincer there? The K3 stone?
Yeah.
Yeah, is this okay? Or because I was kind of unsatisfied here. I didn't really like how it ended. Was it hasty or was it okay?
I think it's fine. I think I would, instead of playing here, I will, I think I'll want to play this move.
Oh, that looks lovely because I still have the slide into the corner then, huh? Yeah.
Your move is also not bad because it does fix the potential of this cut.
Yeah, I'm always scared about that cut, and when I study games with AI, it seems to always tell me not to worry about it, but then in my own games I get cut there, right?
Yeah, you're definitely correct. AI is not usually super worried about it, but it's hard to play correctly. I would say it is a tough position. So this move, I don't think that's your main problem. But if you can predict something like this will happen, maybe you can consider a high pincer. So it just gives you more breathing room towards the center.
Okay, and then I would just run instead of trying to make a base in general? Just
Or you
kinda
do a
like-
space closer.
Oh, okay.
So you then white's a little bit heavier. And then you do something, let's say something like this. Or you just play here.
Okay. Yeah, that does look kind of nicer. I just had it in my head that I was very weak on both sides, so I didn't want to bully that group at all because I felt any movement with it would kind of make me weak, but I guess I wasn't quite as flimsy as I thought, yeah. Oh, but yeah, actually, I think that's fine. That's all the questions I really had about the game. The rest was actually just kind of little mistakes and blunders back and forth, right? So it gets kind of messy, but yeah, I was more so worried about, yeah, this initial move. Now I don't fully understand why I played it, but I wanted some strength, right? And now I see it wasn't worth it, right?
Yeah, I think your cut on the left side actually also fall along the same lines, the same type of mistake. Capturing this stone, is it really that big at this moment? So you do gain some points, and you reduce white by a little bit. But actually, the main problem for white is not this cut; it's here.
I see. So when I was looking at the game just a minute ago, it was actually flagged as a large mistake. I was wondering what the correct place
Okay.
was. So the outer cut, I guess, is yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
you want to
I'm
go
biting-
for the big fish.
Yeah, it's a big problem for me to settle those two cutting stones, though. I guess that's the thing. I don't know really what to do with those two stones, right? I guess just try to live with them, or
Yeah, that's a very good question. So it comes with a little practice, but think about it this way. White started out as kind of having a thickness, but once you cut white from the middle, white has a weak group too. Actually, two weak groups. So if you settle in the center, let's just say, like there's some sort of fight here. So notice white doesn't have anything in the center anymore compared to the game.
Yeah, I guess I do see that. Often I'm a bit shy of trying to settle groups in the center because usually I play very low and I play 3-3 starting. So when I try to play a center group, My opponent tends to profit quite a lot by attacking it, right? But I guess in this case, they didn't really have the influence to really make those profitable moves, huh?
The interesting thing is, the more 3-3 you play, the more you have to be comfortable jumping in the center. Because you're giving your opponents moves on the fourth line. And then at some point, you have to play moves like this cut to kind of like erase the entire influence.
So yeah, I guess that's the thing. It's not enough if I just try to reduce by making little hops for my living groups. I guess I
Sometimes
need
that's
to.
enough, but actually, like cutting like this is the best kind of reduction because it creates weakness in your opponent's group. Like the way you play here, white has no weakness, so it's a little harder for you to play because the best reduction is always to threaten your opponent's weakness or create Aji somehow.
Oh, yeah, I see. Just one more thing. Could you comment a bit on the Joseki in the bottom left? Because I'd never actually seen that move, and I blundered it a little bit.
Oh yeah, for sure. So here, let's see. This sequence is not great for you, of course. I think the problem is the disconnection. Actually, you should Atari and probably capture this stone.
Is this something that I'll see again? Like, is this actually something
This double hane is definitely a trick move. And you know, like I think at SDK or like one dan, people can get tricked. So the idea is there's a double Atari, so you can't make this trade anymore. But if you just Atari here, then white has a okay seal too. So the best sequence is to Atari first, and then Atari, and then capture this stone. So now white has a ladder problem, and also a cutting point here. If white ladders, you can try to do a ladder breaker, or later you can maybe just capture this side.
Do you generally play that one stone, the cutting stone, even if the ladder doesn't work? I especially in the 3-3 invasion Joseki, I tend to omit it. Not into this one. I mean in the normal ones. There's often still that cut there. Do you find it quite important to have that stone there?
It's in a normal 3-3 Joseki, I think it's more optional, but here is a little different because I think it's more important that you cut here because there are only 2 stones here. In the 3-3 Joseki, there are 3.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, that is totally
So in
different.
the case that the ladder doesn't work for white, this is completely devastating. But if there are 3 stones here for white, then it's still kind of an even fight.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you a lot. I'd never seen that, so I tried to come up with a Joseki in the moment, and it didn't work. Yeah.
And there are other
Oh, that's
options.
nice too.
Yeah, like
You're just
there are other options. For example, if you Tanuki here, or if you push up. I think if you check the AI, this could be the best move for you.
it's nice too because yeah, then I don't get sealed in. It's that's actually really nice.
Or you
Yeah,
can
I'll
Tanuki
keep
here
that one.
at this point. So something to experiment. Yeah, so the key I think is conceptually be comfortable playing the center, and in your side conquest, like on the third line, beware of the territory trade-offs versus thickness. Like here, even if you can't read the cutout, just giving white this stone is already fine. So if you know that even if you play the most passively, the result's still fine, then you definitely don't need to play there very urgently. And same thing on the left. Capturing the B13 at B13 was then super urgent. And last thing is you shouldn't have gotten cut in the top right. So here I think you got tricked. You should have Atari first. Maybe this is more fundamental.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the
That's
sequence of
also
moves really
yeah.
matters. Yeah, so check the order of Atari. White will suffer a big loss here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's very clear. Yeah.
All right, so we'll move on to the next game. So, okay. So is this Jason? Jason's game?
Well, yeah.
Okay, are you black or white, Jason?
I was black.
Black, okay. So was there a part of the game where you were thinking you have questions about or you want me to go over?
Maybe when the part, like, my side died.
Left or right side?
Yeah, this one.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Okay, so the normal Joseki up to here. This move, it's a little aggressive, but it's also fine. Yeah, this is all fine. Okay, so this, you shouldn't Atari here. You should just extend. And the reason being, now when white play here, you can clamp. Okay, so if white try to separate you, you can, this is Atari. And the game is a little different. First of all, extending is better because you get Sente here locally versus if you when you play here, you get Gote, you have to connect. Okay? And if white blocks, right, does this clamp work? Have you learned this, Tetsuji?
Not really.
Okay, does anybody paying attention now know where white should play? So it looks like it's a Mii between the connection at A and the cut at B. But is there a move that can solve both?
C2.
Okay, C2, good thought, but what if black turns? So now it's still Mii, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay, you're pretty close, so you want to take another shot?
B2?
B2, okay, so now if black plays here, you can cut.
Yeah.
And if black plays here, where should white play?
D2?
Okay, that's good. So you got it. Now, white can save both sides.
Okay.
Okay, and this is only possible because you made the E6 Atari. So keep that in mind. And then we'll move on to go over why the bottom died. So white's peep is a little too aggressive. Normally, I think a one space pincer is fine, whether it's high or low. This is a little too aggressive. You should connect, just connect. When you play here, you give white an opening to cut. You have a liberty shortage with these two stones. So notice when white hane here, you cannot double hane. Right, the top will die. And if you extend, white can just keep pushing. You end up losing a ton of points. And I'm pretty sure white can already Tenuki, but white can push again, honestly. So you just lose a lot of points in Sente.
Okay.
You have a question?
So, wait, so everything was good until, like, when?
I think your first big mistake is playing here. Because white can cut and you will collapse locally.
Oh, okay.
But white didn't catch your mistake, so this is still fine. Yeah, this is also fine. I think this is the part where everything fell apart. So is this crosscut? This is probably your losing move. Just play here. And you can just play normally. Let's say like here. Or you can maybe drop into the corner or just maybe seal white.
Okay.
What were you thinking when you cross-cut here?
I was trying to. Maybe I thought like the side was completely alive and I was trying to kill those 4 stones.
You thought your group was alive here?
Well, yeah.
Do you know how to live here locally? Is there a way?
No, but I knew I can always like jump out.
Okay, and then you didn't realize you can get sealed in very quickly.
Yeah.
Right. But actually, white also played a little soft here. So white didn't connect. I think you also gain a lot from capturing this zone. Overall, the game is not hopeless for you, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's important, even when you are winning, you should still try to play proactively. Try to play strong moves. Capturing here is a little bit too passive because black is already dead. So you should, from white's perspective, white should try to get as much as white can.
Okay.
Yeah, and notice there's also a cut here. So there's a huge difference locally. Did you find chances later in the game?
Yeah, so basically the corner, it was really good. Yeah, like over here. The
Oh,
corner was kind of dying. And
Oh,
then that
wow.
corner also lived, even though they attacked it.
Wow, this is a crazy trade. I think here you kind of got outplayed by this Tetsuji. This doesn't really work for you. So white just needed to extend. White is alive in the corner. Do you see that?
Oh,
This is alive, and white
Yeah.
can also
Oh,
jump
okay.
out.
okay.
So when you're in this type of situation, you shouldn't start a ko. Like there's no ko here, and you just end up losing more points.
Oh, so it was like alive. The white group, it was alive anyways.
Yeah. So if we connect, white connects, you have to play here, and after 2 Atari, you see white can live in the corner.
Oh, okay.
And actually, even if white doesn't live in the corner, white can still escape. You're not very strong on the outside. Well, actually, white doesn't need to play here. It's better if white just escape.
Okay. But then I think even after this, it still like no like after I killed the group, it still said I was kind of losing.
Yeah, you lost a lot in the top too.
Yeah.
Why did you throw in here?
So I tried to like Atari and then
Okay, so I mean you're not a beginner anymore, so you know your opponent will just capture.
yeah.
So there's no point in doing that, and especially this move, because that gives your opponent a free Atari here.
Okay.
So just be careful of life and death, and also do you see anything with this extension? Like, is your corner completely safe yet?
So
Where can white play in the corner?
he could play like T17.
Okay, so what happens if white plays white plays T17?
Then
Are you alive? Are you dead? Is it a ko, seki?
I think I'm dead.
Okay, so
Because
there's definitely a
can
ko.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind. You're not completely alive.
Wait, there was also a double alive later. After like everything.
So this is also a call.
Yeah.
But can you live from here? I feel like you can. Do you see it?
Yeah, you use connect.
Okay. Is there another way to live?
No Tiger's Mouth?
Yeah.
But if
so-
you go to what if you Tiger's Mouth, what if they extend like no wait that okay, yeah. And then what if they go T14? Okay.
So be familiar with this type of corner shape, okay? This is a life
Okay.
shape. Just remember the 1-2 point is generally the vital point. And then something I want to talk about is the top left. You gain massively here. I don't know why white didn't block.
Yeah.
And here, do you know you're already alive?
I was afraid I was like they could go B18. And then maybe A17? No. I wouldn't.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
to think about. Your eye shape is very big, so you're not under any immediate danger.
Okay.
And in this type of shape, you should tardy once just to give white this empty triangle shape. And notice if you escape this stone, white is kind of weak now. So if you play here, connecting might be sente. Otherwise, white is in trouble. So remember to make this type of exchange.
Okay.
And in the top left, is blocking here sente?
No.
So okay, so something to think about for later. Okay. Can white kill this group?
Oh wait. Eagle.
So like if you have a shape like this, can white kill this group?
Yeah, you can go like B16.
So this will be alive.
Wow.
It's okay. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but you should think more about this. It's an interesting question. And there is a way to kill from here. Just figure out more combinations. Just try to play with this shape. So what do you think your biggest mistake this game is?
Probably letting the side die.
The bottom.
Like, yeah, the bottom side die.
Yeah, that's
Think that-
probably it. Oh, so white actually blocked and let you off the hook here. There will be a code
Yeah.
white peeped.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of this move?
I thought I could go E11, but it turns out that they can, like, and then I push, but then they can just push instead of blocking and letting
Right.
me cut.
Yeah, so you're reading moves, which is good, but just think more because your opponent may not respond the way you expect them to. There are always more possibilities. So, and this
Yeah,
move end
okay.
up is kind of a waste because your opponent doesn't need to do anything.
Yeah, I know.
So, knowing that, where should you play right now? Let's say this corner is safe. Where should you play right now?
Maybe I should have made their corner like C2.
Okay, that's a good thought. C2, and then where?
Um, uh, and then like connect like C3.
Okay, so that's one possibility for sure. You can also connect here. It's probably slightly better. And you can also notice this is Gote, right? If you play this way. If you jump, you can probably get Sente.
Oh wait,
If white
how was it
Tanuki,
Sante?
what can you do here?
Well, I don't think you can connect.
But can you live?
Oh wait, you can. Wait, I think yeah, you can live
Okay, how?
by connecting.
Where should black play now?
Connect.
Connect. Is this alive
Yeah.
though?
Wait, no, actually, no, actually, Tiger's Mouth.
Here?
Yeah, I think that's Co.
This is okay. You mean like this ko?
No, yeah, kinda. I think there was also another one.
Okay, you're right. This is a ko, but can black do better? In some situation, this move is the best.
Um, maybe. Go down.
Go down, yeah, okay. So here you can actually make a box 6 shape. This is alive. And this is only possible because you have a stone at 3. This is a peep.
Oh, okay.
So keep that in mind. And then notice in this shape, the fact that these two are liberties actually matter a lot.
Yeah.
If those are not liberty, then you
Yeah,
can only
that's
play
dead.
here.
Wait, it's still alive?
Actually, if it's like this, then this move doesn't work as well because white can peep here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So things change. Okay, just keep that in mind, depending on the liberty situation. So now black can only play this one.
Okay.
So I think you're seeing really fast. You have a lot of ideas, but just keep making sure that you double check your ideas and your reading, and be familiar with the basic life and death. And then
Okay.
when you have time this week, check on this.
Wait. Oh, okay.
try to see how to kill the black group. Okay, so with that, we'll move on to the last game. Okay, is any of the players present?
I don't think so because I just saw all those two like leave.
Okay, yeah, okay, and I guess Laura is not one of the two players. Okay, so I will just talk about the two games briefly in the last 20 minutes or so. So interesting cross corner opening. White invaded really early here. I think it normally it's just better to wait until this type of invasion because you risk running out a weak group, and that weak group will become a big liability for white to expand elsewhere on the board. Okay, so I think black played this bomb is correct. Extending in is very risky, especially this early, because it's not easy for white to live. Okay, so I think black doesn't really know the life and death here. If black bumps, this corner is dead.
Hey.
Did someone say something?
Sorry.
Oh. So this corner is dead. You can place a white stone here, but black can still kill. Extending in is a very, very situational move. And the only time that really works is if white has a lot of stones on the outside. And white really wants to destroy the corner. And we'll see why. So the Hane here is not good, first of all, because it strengthens black's outside. So let's say white just played here. And the shape becomes something like this. So white is dead in the corner, but white can actually make quite a few liberties. And imagine white has a lot of stones on this side. White can wedge here and cut. And this could become a capturing race. And in any type of capturing race, black will be in trouble because white has quite a few liberties in the corner. There could be other possibilities for black, for example, something like this. But in the case where white has a lot of help on the outside, white can live like this. But this is very situational because white needs a lot of help on the outside and need to really value the corner over the side. So this is probably like a 1 in 1,000 type of situation, or like 1 in 100. Not 15 moves into the game for sure. Okay, so now white is alive. And white Tanuki. But actually, there is still something in the corner. I don't know if anybody wants to take a stab at this. Where can black play in the bottom right?
S3.
S3 is a very good thought. So now we can see that half of the white group just got captured in Sente. So this is a very bad result for white. But actually, Ataring first is even better. If white connects, then black can Hane. This is a dead shape. So the only thing white can do is to extend, and then black can capture. And then white has to reinforce, and is stuck with a 2i. 2i life. Actually, maybe this side is better. But white's corner is even smaller than the other variation. Depending on the situation, Ataring here might be better. So just keep that in mind. White has a very glaring liberty shortage. So interesting that neither player really noticed. So this move is a little bit passive, I would say. Normally you want to either play something more proactive or Tanuki. So white is happy to come back. White can also consider other big points, I would say. And this jump, a lot of Q players like to just jump straight to the middle and then kind of get a territory like this. It looks pretty big. Like now maybe black can have 30 points in the area. But this type of territory is always much smaller than it seems. At least from maybe a Q player perspective. And the reason being, this is very one-dimensional. You're only going up. It's much better if you extend toward the side and then up. And that builds a broader base for your moyo, and that will put a lot more pressure on your opponent. And the very easy counter to move like this is simply to take the side. So if you notice, black makes maybe 10-15 points in this area, but if white gets the side in the corner, this is easily 20 points. So the side in the corner will always be bigger than the center. And in the process of encircling and closing the center, black will have to give up a lot on the side. For example, let's say white bumps here. To protect the territory, maybe black will play something like this, and then white can get to turn again, and then white plays here. So let's just say both sides exchange some moves. So if you just look at it very carefully, white actually has way more than black, and it's not even close. So it's a little deceptive how points in the center can look. But if your opponent or one side can expand territory from the corner, that will always trump whatever you can do in the center. So the proper move for black is to expand to the side. And actually the top side is the most empty. So I would probably advise black to play here, or maybe invade the corner here. Something along this line. And in the bottom, approaching f3 is definitely the best. So notice if here black is also putting pressure in the corner. So if white reinforces in the corner, black can jump up. And now if black gets the chance to expand further, black can try something like this. So this is completely different because white is flat on the side. And instead of having like 15 points, then this is more like 50. So to expand a moyo, we want to go for this type of magnitude. If you're only getting 15-20 points in the center, that is more like an endgame move, not opening. Of course, white won't play so passively on the side, but this just illustrates the point of how black should approach the bottom moyo. Jumping here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A width of 5 is generally not enough. You want it to be as close to 10 as possible, especially because it doesn't connect to a corner. I emphasize this type of point a lot because this type of concept takes a while to grasp for I would say Q and even most Dom players. I'll go through a similar example. So the Sarense opening is pretty popular back in the days, and a lot of people still like to play it now. And you can see a similar idea. Okay, so something like this. So black expands. Even this type of expansion is actually not as good as it looks from black's perspective. If you look at AI, win rate, blah, 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 white is definitely slightly ahead here. And it looks black's moyo looks pretty scary. But because there are weaknesses on the side, and because white already took 2 corners, and white has an entire side on the left, this is an even game to be slightly favorable for white. And the reason why, at least visually, it looks really good for black is because white's territory are all scattered, while black has one block of points. So if you make the side exchanges, you see that white has almost 10, maybe even more, like 10, 12 points in each corner, and then more points on the left. So if you just subtract out white's 24, like 20 to 24 points, then this whole area is gone already. So basically, black is trying to use this moyo against white's entire side versus plus Komi. That's why it's really not that great for black. It's at best even. If you like moyo game, this is a perfectly good opening for black, but overall, it's very playable for white for this reason. And if we go back to the game, this moyo is nowhere near as good as the other one for black. So jumping here, it's premature. Okay, so a lot of Q players like to capture this stone. But actually the proper move would be to connect on the side, or just expand into the center. Black is not really under any trouble or pressure to live locally, because black can connect, make Y shape here, and escape toward the center. Capturing here is simply not very big. Why should I block here? And notice this leaves a really nice Sente Atari. So if black doesn't want that to happen, black has to descend. And black only has a handful of points, maybe around 5. But because white gets the G17 move, now white has some Sente endgames already. So this capture doesn't end up getting black any points, even though black has Gote. Compare this with the connection. Look very carefully. This connects the group because white has a cutting point here. So white connects, black can play something like this move, or here, or here. It just depends on the situation. And if you count the territory, this way will definitely be bigger than the game if white had blocked, because black is all connected on the second line. Versus here, black is separated. I'm not sure why white played this exchange. It seemed like almost like a waste of a move. Yeah, and here white got hit into a dumpling shape. So this is not a very good result for white at all. White actually has a chance to cut because black left an opening here. This doesn't work anymore because white has Atari. So this will be an interesting fight if white just cut. Maybe black have to sacrifice this and just play elsewhere. And overall, this will be fine for white because at least white got a little bit of influence toward the center, even though black did get the side territory. Yeah, so here it just went straight downhill for white. And actually capturing, I think both sides also miss an important picture here, which is attacking this dumpling. White is very weak, heavy, because black has no weakness, and this is just a clump of 7 stones. It's hard for white to create value out of this, or to sacrifice. Now this exchange, similar thing also happened in the other game, in Jason's game. I'm not super sure why this type of Panuki happens a lot. Conceptually, we shouldn't allow our opponent to Panuki stones, because it just gives them a very clean kill, and there's really not much Aji. And because your opponent already removed one of your stone, even if you somehow win the ko later, you still lost a stone. So you lost a move. And that aside, locally, this doesn't work. So if you look very carefully, this is actually a ladder. And everything is dead. This is almost like a 20Q type of mistake. Not saying the Panuki is a 20Q mistake, but after here, I think a double-digit Q player should be able to see that black is in trouble, at least at this point. So when your opponent Atari's a ko, you don't necessarily have to connect. And I think white might have played too quickly by connecting. So that at least gave black another chance. Otherwise, black would just collapse here. If white captures this whole group, that means the entire corner is pretty much white's territory for the most part. And that would be a huge loss for black. From experience, in this type of shape, is most of the time better to capture versus here, because when you extend, you give your opponent a sente block, and that's usually not as good. here is interesting. White extended, but instead of blocking here. But blocking is sente, because black can block here, and then on any move in the corner, black can capture the corner. So I think black made a mistake by not making this exchange. So if black plays here, actually black would probably block first and then block. And the white has reinforced, and then black can do whatever else, and tenuki again. This is a small detail, but it might matter. The reason why black shouldn't block before should play S16 before P18 is because if black just plays here, white can Atari here. And a lot of you might wonder, so what's the difference? But look very carefully of the follow-up. So now this Hane connect is gote. On the other hand, white has a sente Hane connect. So in the other situation, this is sente for black. So the difference here is almost 4 points, and as a reverse sente 4 points. So it's actually a big difference. So I think for the sake of time, I will just pause the last review here and gone through a few of the key points in the early stage of the game. I think for most Q players or viewers watching this video, the most important takeaway besides some of the life and death points is I want people to understand why this type of extension doesn't work and how to deal with that as white. And the best way is to leave it alone, because white can just expand from the corner, and over time that will always outvalue just very direct extension into the center. Is there any question in the end? I'm happy to go back to the other two games if we have more questions. Otherwise, I will just end the video here. Thank you very much for coming tonight.